Alright, here we are at Cherry Creek in the Los Padres National Forest on another solo adventure. So this is Cherry Creek right here, and that creek that it merges into is the Sespe Creek, and I had to cross that. I didn't want to film myself crossing that, but my car's up there and we are headed that way. And as you can see, or you might be able to see, that there is snow on these mountains. So that's what I was looking forward to. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot, but I just wanted to see some snow. Alright, I just came across this large puddle and it's a little bit frozen on top. I seem to remember this the last time I came here, which was about 7 years ago. I already forgot my sunglasses in the car, but that's not really a big deal. I'm not crossing that creek over again. Looks like there have been some off-roaders going through here recently. I apologize in advance for the wind. It is going to be a little bit breezy today and tomorrow. So yeah, like I said before, I haven't been here in about 7 years. And this used to be a popular shooting area till they closed it down in 2013 to target shooting. So I've been wanting to do this trip for a while now, about a month, but it's been raining like all last month, and I just couldn't find a good time to come out here. But today is the day, and I almost went last week, but I just wasn't feeling it. But here we are now. This road is so muddy right now, it's just like sticking to my shoes, and that might be a problem if this continues on. Lots of little patches of snow on the side, and I can see a lot up ahead. Okay, let me tell you what's going on. I'm going in 3 miles on Cherry Creek Road. It goes up 1,000 feet to a peak, and then it's going to go back down 1,000 feet to Maple Camp, which is where I'm staying tonight. I've never been to Maple Camp. The furthest I've gone is to the top of this road, and after that it goes down pretty steep to the campsite. There's a lot of switchbacks. I also had a really hard time deciding where to go, because just back a little ways is another trailhead called Chorro Grande, and that leads to a campsite called Oak Camp that's only 1.5 miles in, but I didn't want to just do that. And after that it's like a straight vertical climb up the mountain, and I was gonna do that, but when I got here, I just didn't feel like climbing 3,000 feet up a mountain. So I decided to do this instead. Alright, it starts tightening up further ahead into this valley. Here's some nice snow accumulation. And all the way on the top of those mountains, it's snowy. And that's where I was going to go. But another reason why I didn't is because it's cold up there. I think last night it got down to 17 degrees. Where I'm going, it's going to get down to about 30 degrees, maybe the high 20s. Here's Cherry Creek again. I am going to have to cross this a few times. So I came across this puddle right here, and this is actually thick ice. Here, let me try to grab my hiking poles. That's pretty thick. Pretty good amount of snow right here. Alright, we arrived at Cherry Creek Campground. Here it is right here. I remember this from many years ago. I don't think it's in service anymore. You're not supposed to camp here. Yeah, it just looks terrible. I'd probably camp here if I had to, but we are going to Maple Camp. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick break at this former campground. There's still some empty brass from years ago. 40 Smith & Wesson. Here's another one. This one is 9mm. So when I first wanted to go on this trip about a month ago, it was supposed to be an ultralight trip. I bought a new pack. It's a Walmart Ozark Trail pack called the Atka. It only weighs 12 ounces. And I was going to go super ultralight, 12 pounds. But it turns out that the Matilija Road going to the trailhead is closed. So I scratched that one out. And then I had to look further north. And it was just too cold to do an ultralight trip. So I decided to pack up the old Osprey Exos. My pack weight is about 24 pounds with food and water and everything, which is not too bad. That's actually the same weight as my previous solo trip. And I have 1.7 liters of water. I wasn't exactly sure what the water situation was going to be. Otherwise, I would have just bring the 700 milliliter smart water bottle. So I've been hiking for a little over an hour now. When I hit the trail, it was almost 12 o'clock. So I'm at least a third of the way in. Still got a ways to go. Alright, it's about 1:10 right now, and I'm about to hit the trail. I don't remember these bushes being here about 7 years ago. They must have grew since then. Oh, and I put the hat on because the sun is kind of beating down on me. Not too bad, but I do want a little bit of protection. Alright, the first stream crossing, just like a minute after the campground. Looks easily passable, and then some uphill. Here's some more snowy goodness. And it's actually pretty cold right now. I guess it's about 40 degrees. Stream crossing number 2. Piece of cake. I was kind of worried about how big the creek was going to be, but it looks fine. It's very low right now. There's some nice snow here, but when we reach the top of the road, it's probably going to be a little snow because of the sun exposure. Wow, this is beautiful right here. I can see a tiny waterfall over there, and I will check it out. Alright, I remember this open area right here, and we are getting pretty close to the top. Just doing a little bit of uphill, but I think it's right up here. These trees here look a little bit scorched. I think we're entering the area where the Thomas fire was. This is the very north end of where the fire would have been. From what I read, Maple Camp was not harmed by the fire. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going there. And I think we're just about at the top. Here we are, guys. We're coming over the pass. Wow. I remember this view. Man, you can see the beach and the ocean. You can see Oxnard. You can see a lot from up here. Oh man, this brings back memories. Me and my friend Chris were here about 7 years ago at this exact spot. Alright, we are headed down now to Maple Camp, which is down about 1,000 feet. We are at 5,000 feet right now. The car is at 4,000 feet, and the campsite is at 3,800 feet. So we got to go down quite a ways. I have never been this far out. So the road goes on right here. I think it's called Ortega Road. I could be wrong. But I got to make sure I don't go on the road and actually go on the trail that goes down. I may have gone too far already. Yeah, I went too far. But I only went like 100 yards over there. This is the actual trail that goes to Maple Camp. And I looked at my phone to figure that out. Some interesting vegetation here. The trail is getting a bit hard to follow, as you might see. but I am staring at my phone while I'm walking, and I'm going the right way. Okay, I found the trail again. The area back here is completely washed out and it's super muddy. So we are going down Matilija Canyon right now, and if we kept following the trail, we would end up where I was at my first solo trip at Middle Matilija Campground. I think I can see the area where Maple Camp is at from here, so a little bit further down. And the trail is really hard to follow. I was like going straight down the mountain thinking, why is this so steep? And it's because I'm going the wrong way. I think the trail goes off this way, and now it's going like down here. Okay, I'm on the trail, and there is orange trail markers along the trail here. The problem is the trail is just so eroded I couldn't figure it out. Like this area, it looks like just a 45-degree slope. Okay, I think we've reached the final stretch. There's some orange trail markers. A lot of them down here. I wish there were more up there. That would be much more helpful. But yeah, that was a pain in the butt. I think it's like almost 4 o'clock now. It took me 2 hours just to get down this hill, 1 mile. That's how bad it was. Alright, I made it to Maple Camp, finally. It's 3:50 right now, so it took me 1 hour and 50 minutes, almost 2 hours to get down that mountain. Man, I was getting really angry and frustrated getting down this mountain. It just took way too long. There's even a little bit of snow around the campsite. Man, I'm tired. I'm going to take off this pack now. I don't know why I still have it on. I haven't sat down in 4 hours, so I'm hungry. I'm going to make some food, set up my campsite, have some fun. Man, it's going to be cold tonight. My thermometer says it's about 37 or 36 degrees right now, and I'm getting cold, so I got to get something going. Okay, so someone put their fuel canister inside of this stove, and it still has fuel in it. I can feel it. It has a lot of fuel in it. I mean, what kind of person would do that? That's like some kind of sick joke. Okay, the tent is set up. It looks pretty good, but the stakes are having trouble staying in the ground because the ground is soft. And also my ground sheet tore apart because there was a small tear in it, and then when I stretched it out, it just disintegrated. Here's the back side. So here's my sleep system. I got a climate insulated static V light. I have an SOL bivy sack right here, 2 Costco down quilts, which will go inside the bivy sack, and this was the extra layer that would get me into the teens if I went to Chorro Grande, which is a fleece sleeping bag, which just goes on the outside. It's getting really cold. It's 35 or 34 degrees right now, almost getting to freezing, so I think we need to get some food going and start a fire. Okay, I've got a small collection of firewood here. Let's see if we can make a fire. Okay, let's see if this works. Woo! That went fast. Turn off the stove. Get some wood on there. Not very elegant. That's the benefit of having a canister stove. Let's see if this gets going. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. I am struggling a little bit to keep it sustaining because the wood out here is still a little bit wet. Well, it looks like it's going pretty good right there. It's probably been another 5 minutes. It's not going that great, but we'll see what happens with it. I kind of got a teepee thing going on there. The fire's going pretty good now. And over here I'm starting to prepare some food. Here is my stove setup. I finally got myself a windscreen. I made this. It's just a piece of a Foster's can with extended paper clips to raise it off the ground. And I did that so I can use the same windscreen for an alcohol stove setup. Okay, I'm working on boiling some water. And tonight I'm going to have some Mountain House chili mac that I repackaged. And I'm going to put it in this bag that I saved. Alright, it's almost 6 o'clock and it's starting to get dark. And it's probably almost freezing at this point. Working on boiling some water. Got a small fire going. And just hanging out. Alright, water's about ready. Turn it off. Okay, Mountain House water going in. That should be good. Smoke in my eyes. It hurts. Do it over here. Looking good. I'm also making some hot chocolate. There we go. Now the smoke is getting in my eyes again. That looks good. Alright, gonna have some hot cocoa. Oh, that's good. So cold right now. It's probably below freezing. But I got my hot cocoa. Alright, the Mountain House is ready. Might have put a little bit too much water, but that's okay. Alright, gonna have some of this Mountain House. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, I'm not sure if you can see me, but it's about 6:30 right now, and I've been just hanging out, just standing around for like 10 minutes. It is quite cold though, and my fire is completely out, but I don't really care. I just wanted to make a small fire, but I might just crawl in the sleeping bag kind of early here because it is cold. Alright, I moved my operations into the tent. It's about 30 degrees right now. It's pretty cold, and I'm going to get out of my shoes right now. Alright, I spent the last half an hour or so just cleaning everything up. Everything is all organized and back in their place. And I'm just hanging out here. It's really cold right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm just laying here, trying to keep warm. I might eat something later. I guess I'll show you what I have in my bear canister. And yes, I'm going to put my bear canister out of my tent. Okay, for my food, I've got a shin ramen bowl. I have a packet of hot tuna creations, rice and beans. My breakfast is Pop-Tarts. I got another hot chocolate. I got a Spam. And other than the Mountain House I just ate, that's it for my food. Oh, I got a few snacks over here, but that's it. Alright, it's about 7:15 right now. I just went to take a pee. It's still about 30 degrees outside. And I'm just looking around, checking things out. Not much more to do at this point. I set my gear inside of my vestibule, laying on a piece of polycro sheet. Seems to be working out. I've got my water filter inside the pocket of my down jacket to keep it from freezing. That's something you always got to remember. Alright, I'm going ninja with the balaclava, but when I have this thing up, it fogs my glasses. See? I got the balaclava on, I got the gloves on. I'm not doing too bad at the moment, except that I'm walking around in my flip-flops. Alright, it's 8 o'clock. I'm just hanging out in my tent listening to music. And it's pretty cold, but I think it's still around 30 degrees. I have a slight headache, so I took some ibuprofen. And that's all that's going on right now. I might eat something else pretty soon, just to get something in me. Alright, I'm going to warm up some Spam. What I'm going to do is take out the Spam and wrap it in this aluminum foil, place it on the stove at very low heat, and just slowly bring it up to temperature. Alright, now we're cooking up some Spam. What I did before was I placed it right on top of the stove, but it just is still too much heat. So what I did is I'm using my windscreen as a stand and putting the Spam on it, and that's working out pretty good. Pretty slick. What's nice about winter camping is that there's no bugs. I've got my mesh door completely open. I don't see any bugs at all. And I feel completely safe from the bugs. Alright, check that out. You can see the steam coming off of it. It's quite warm, and I'm going to enjoy it. Wow, look at that. It's a full moon. That is awesome. Okay, I just put the bear canister away. It's almost 9 o'clock and there's not really much else to do. So I guess I'm going to call it a night now, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
Well, good morning everyone. It's a little after 7 o'clock right now. I checked the thermometer and it's about 27 or 28 degrees right now. So it got pretty cold. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Probably hovering about 28 right now. There isn't any frost in my tent, however. I find that a little bit odd. I do have some condensation on the inside, but not much. Alright, my hair's probably all messed up. But I'm going to focus on packing everything up right now. And then I'm going to have breakfast after. And I want to try to hit the trail by 9 o'clock. Alright, the tent is cleared out. And I'm going to take it down now. Alright, it's about 8 o'clock. And everything is packed up. And now I can focus on some food. It did warm up to about 29 degrees. Probably 30 now. So it's a little warmer. So I got everything put away. Alright guys, I'm having shin ramen for breakfast. I don't think I ever had shin ramen for breakfast before, but there's a first for everything. The water is boiling. Okay. Turn this off. Alright. I put enough water in. Set this down and put this lid on top to keep it closed. Alright, the sun just peeked over the mountain. It's going to start getting warm now. Alright, I'm going to start eating the shin ramen. I got to use my spork because that's the only thing that I have that resembles a fork. So here we go. That's good. It's a little bit hard to eat with the spork, but it gets the job done. Alright, it's a little after 9 o'clock now, and everything is cleaned up and we're ready to go. I just noticed that the ground is starting to thaw. It was frozen from last night. Alright, so let's get moving. I'm not looking forward to going up this mountain though, with the destroyed trail. Also, I didn't need to filter any water on this trip. Turns out that I had enough water for all my needs. I found this old rusted can thing. It looks really old. I'm not sure what it is, but it's heavy. There's a hole in the other end. It's heavy because it's filled with mud. Alright, I'm already about 3/4 of the way up the mountain. I had a much easier time navigating the trail this time. I think yesterday I just kept on walking off the trail and my GPS wasn't really aligning exactly with the trail on the GPS. So yeah, I'm gonna be at the top pretty soon. Man, this trail is jacked up. It's like 45-degree slopes of loose gravel and dirt that you just slide on. I don't even remember doing this yesterday. I must have bypassed it. We're back at the muddy part, so not much further to the top. It's also really cold and windy. Alright, I made it back to Cherry Creek Road. Went up about 1,200 feet. I think it's about 11 o'clock right now. So it's pretty much just downhill to the car from here. I think I'm making good time. I want to be back in the car by 1 o'clock. There's a 50% chance of snow tonight, so I want to get back to the car and get out of here before they close the highway. Alright, here's Cherry Creek Campground. That means we're only about a mile, maybe a little more from the car. Alright guys, my car is still there. I can just barely see it. Alright, there's my car up here. And I'm not going to film myself crossing the creek, so I'm going to end the video right here. So I would call that a successful solo winter backpacking trip. We got to see some snow, the campsite was nice. The only real downside was the trail going down to Maple Camp. So the next trip is probably going to be to Yosemite with my brother. There's a ton of snow up there right now, so we're probably going to go in the next few months. Alright guys, I'm hungry. I'm going to stop by Wendy's on the way home. And thanks for watching.